How's it going, everybody? I'm Brooks,
I'm Joe.
and this is another episode of Cantina Reviews Barside Chats.
So, today, we're going to talk about Star Wars.
Wow.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
Now we're going to get any more in-depth as to what about Star Wars we're talking to, or should we just talk about Star Wars?
Just in general.
Yeah.
So, I don't know why exactly, but for some reason today, a whole bunch of stuff was released in regards to what books are coming out, what comics are coming out, that kind of stuff. I keep seeing new information every time I pull out my phone. So we're just going to talk about some of the announced releases.
Great. More things where they can take our money.
Yes, more things we will buy and read.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to start with the good news first. Because I'm optimistic.
Yes.
There's a Star Wars book called Master and Apprentice coming out, featuring Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan, by our favorite Claudia Gray.
Yes. I am excited for that one, and that one only.
Now, if you haven't seen some of our book reviews, we've reviewed all the Claudia Gray Star Wars books up until this point.
Yes.
And those have definitely been the highlight for me of the new canon.
Mm-hmm.
She did Lost Stars. She did the Princess Leia book. She did Bloodline, another Leia-based book. All really good.
Yeah, I'm excited because I like the way she writes. She's good at developing characters.
Yeah.
And I've read some of the other Star Wars books, and I've never been sucked into it like hers.
Right, it's like
hers, I want to read the next chapter.
Yeah, I was glued to Lost Stars.
Yeah.
And like you said, her character building is fucking... Well, is fantastic.
It's effing fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just so good. And, now we'll have that with, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. That'd be really cool. Back in the day, I read, there was a whole series of Qui-Gon Obi-Wan books where Obi-Wan was training. And I loved those.
Yeah.
So it was, a cool era to work with. Oh, my God.
We're also outside right now. We are currently camping.
Apparently. I really liked those books as a kid, so I'm excited to sort of revisit this area with this author specifically.
Yes.
If they had announced this book and it was anyone, I'd be like, okay. But because it's Claudia,
that sounds kind of cool.
Because it's Claudia Gray, I'm like, ooh, this is
very
good.
Excited.
Yeah, this will be good.
So now we jump to the bad news.
Let's go to
stuff in between.
Let's go to the middle news.
Let's try to get these people to stay on this this podcast here.
Star Wars Alphabet Squadron. And it has on the cover...
Oh, is it?
Cover not final. X-Wing, there's a B-Wing, there's a Y-Wing.
The A-Wing.
A-Wing, yeah.
That's, okay.
They're all the letters.
It's kind of clever.
Right, yeah, so, I guess it's...
At least the book cover's clever.
Well, that's not the final cover.
Right.
But, it was just, a squad of rebels hunt down Imperials. There's not much information about it.
Never seen that before.
Yeah, it's by Alexander Freed.
As opposed to Caged.
Yes. So yeah, we don't know much about that. Could be interesting. I mean, the Battlefront book was pretty good. First one.
Which one was the first one?
Twilight Company one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I never actually finished that.
Oh yeah.
I was 2 chapters away. Once again, I just like Claudia Gray so much more.
Yes, I do.
That's because I read that and Bloodlines at the same time.
Okay.
And I just couldn't read both.
Hopping back and forth kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that could be interesting. I'm sure we'll check it out.
Yeah, as more is released on it.
Yeah. Now, here's where the bad news comes in. I guess, in retrospect, this isn't the worst thing ever.
No.
But, when you have some background, so, we've been reading the comics, we've been getting the comics, and what started out as sort of, a fun little thing, there was, the Star Wars series, and then there was the Darth Vader series, and then they would run a 5-issue kind of side thing.
Yeah.
There was Lando, there was Han Solo, there was Chewbacca,
Leia. What's the other one with the guy from Rebels?
Kanan.
Kanan, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's and then they never ran them at the same times.
Well, it was you knew that third one was going to be short.
Yeah. And once one ended, another one would start.
Fast forward to now, there's like 5 different series going on at all times.
Yeah, or
like
more.
Poe Dameron is in the 30s or 40s.
Yeah, Poe Dameron, Aphra, Star Wars, the new Vader.
Right, so like they finished Vader after 20-something issues and started another Vader, which is earlier. It takes place after episode 3. And then now we have this. The current Darth Vader comic series is officially ending with issue 25. A new 5-part miniseries will come after, named Shadows of Vader, by none other than Chuck Wendig.
I almost screamed. Not only am I buying comics like they're going out of style, with how many issues and arcs they have going on, but now I am obviously forced to buy this series written by the worst author in history. He's just so bad.
Wendig wrote those Aftermath books, which were so hyped. Like, this was the beginning of the new Star Wars canon.
They were going to be huge.
It takes place after 6, like, big deal, big deal.
Yeah.
Aftermath, check out our review. It was horrible.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
We didn't even read the other two.
I couldn't finish the second one.
Yeah.
I tried.
A quarter of the way through the second one, and I was like, you can't do that.
I got about halfway through. And, like, I moved on.
Yeah, it's nuts.
And it's always one of those things, it's like, yeah, I'll read them. So we can knock out a nice part 2, part 3 review.
Yeah.
But I can't bring myself.
You can't do it.
Reading Aftermath was dreadful.
Yes.
And what always comes to mind, we talked about it in our review, was that scene where, like, the stormtroopers jump out of the plane to land in the city. And he tells that scene from 5 different perspectives.
Yeah.
And it takes forever.
Yeah, it's like 6 or 7 chapters of that one thing happening.
Right.
And it's like, oh my god, just can we
Get
get
on
past
with
this? Yeah.
Get on with it already.
Yeah. It's like, let's just progress the story.
Yeah. And then since then they've given him like things like that. Like he did the comic version of The Force Awakens.
Well, luckily they had already written that.
Right. I mean, plot-wise, that was already written. But even then, it was so weirdly abbreviated that it was like 15 minutes worth of movie would happen in one panel.
Yeah.
So that was really strange. So now this series is this 5-part series, which, seeing as things have been going now, will probably turn into a 20-part series.
Yeah. 2025.
It's different perspectives of people who have encountered Vader through the 3 eras of Star Wars.
It's going to be terrible. So the 3 eras being the prequels, between the prequels and the originals, and then the original trilogy?
I think what they mean is the prequels, the originals, and the sequels.
That's what I would have thought, but like he's not in the sequels
Anyway. It's going to probably be something... I mark my words. It's Kylo getting his mask.
But like Darth Vader's still not. Oh yeah, the one from the sequel era is gonna be yeah. Oh, that's terrible.
That's got to be it. I doubt they would do anything interesting.
Well, I doubt they would make it enticing.
Yeah,
it's gonna be crap they put in a book so we could buy it. Oh, I don't know. It's just like when are they gonna stop? When can they just do 2 series and call it a day?
That's the thing. It started off as like a fun thing. Like you had the Star Wars series, you had the Vader series, and then like a little spin-off that was 5 issues and it was done.
Yeah. Then you had ones where like they would converge.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, we're not buying the other 2. We're buying this one that is the 2.
Well, yeah. The best was the Vader Down when Star Wars and Vader crossed over. It was great.
Yeah, it was cool.
It was like really exciting. It was fun. Now, like, here we are in, like, 40-something Star Wars.
Exactly.
We're in the second Vader series. Poe Dameron's a series. Aphra's a full series. They're still doing these side ones, which we've kind of given up on at this point. There was a Phasma, there was a young Lando, there was a Mace Windu.
Yeah, the droids.
The droids. Like, it's gotten pretty out of hand, where, like, it's not feasible to really keep up with it.
I wonder if there's someone out there that reads all of the Marvel things.
Right.
Could you imagine?
Right. I know there are channels that do a better job of keeping up with it than we do, and they do more of like an issue by issue review, which we never really did. No. We reviewed the series.
Impossible.
We reviewed like the series.
Yeah. I don't think we could ever do issue by issue.
That'd be crazy.
Especially nowadays. I'm so just like I'll just bulk read them.
That's how I do it.
Like, I will not read them for months. And then there will be 1 week where it's like, that's all I do is get caught up.
Yeah.
And then same idea. I won't read them for like months. And it's just like, never-ending cycle.
Right.
Like, I have so many just sitting on my table that I have not even touched.
Right, and the books, they just keep coming. Like, there's quite a few books that I haven't gotten to yet. Like, there's already another Thrawn book. I'm still trying to get to the first one of the new series.
Yeah.
Because that was Timothy Zahn, or Zahn, who was the original writer of those Thrawn books back in the day. And so I've been wanting to read his Thrawn book, and I just haven't really got to it. And then there's another one already, Thrawn Alliances.
I remember when, like, you and I talked about it, and we were like, oh my god, like, Disney wiped out all the previous canon.
Yeah.
So everything that comes out now is going to be new. We're going to be on the ground floor. There's not that much stuff to read.
Right.
Like, if we just read it all before all the new stuff starts coming out, we'll be all caught up and we'll know everything about the new Star Wars universe.
Right.
We'll know all the canon stuff. It'll be great. And it's just, out of nowhere, they just started pumping stuff out.
Oh, yeah.
Books, comics, side stuff, like...
Right. Yeah, like when we, like, I'd say it's like a year ago at this point, or if not longer.
Yeah.
When we first started getting into the new canon stuff, it was feasible to keep up with.
Exactly.
It's like by the time you finish one book, maybe another one was coming out.
Yeah.
Or like they released like 2 at a time.
Uh-huh.
You know, like Aftermath and Lost Stars came out.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
And like a few comics. And then it's like, it was like easy to do it. And then now it's just like, oh my god, there's a new book every week.
When we first were like, yeah, let's do it. There was like 6 books and the comic series. Or, 2 or 3 of those.
Yeah.
It's like, that was it.
Yeah.
But yeah, now it's just like, there's, God forbid you take a week to a month off of not reading any of it.
Yeah.
There's 6 more books and 6 more comic book series that have come out within the month.
Right. And like, varying in quality, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we were pretty into the comics, and I remember, like, we reviewed the Darth Maul series, which was a huge letdown.
Mm-hmm.
It was just basically the Vader series in 5 issues. And yeah, we just, there's a whole bunch of books out there still that we haven't quite got to.
I wonder what the list looks like now. Because I remember, like, I sent you that list, and it was like, here's where the books that are out and coming out fit. Here's where the comics fit. Everything like that.
Yeah.
Now it's got to look so jumbled and, like, disgusting. Ugh.
Let's see. Oh, there's that cricket again.
Gotta love it.
Your guide to the new canon of Star Wars. Books and comics.
Someone should just summarize all of it.
Oh, yeah, they really... Oh, I remember... Yeah, there's this one, too. The Obi-Wan and Anakin series.
Yeah.
That one wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't terrible, but pointless nonetheless.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't show us anything.
Yeah, it was just a little...
Basically, it was like when you and I complained, like, where they're reminiscing in the elevator in Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
About all the trials and tribulations they've been through together.
Right.
And we're being told instead of shown. That series was just to show us one of the many things that they did.
Yes.
It was basically just in a response to all of people like you and I being like, I want to say it.
Yeah. So that what I was just looking at was like a totally outdated list that doesn't nearly have as much as there is right now.
I'm sure.
Well, here's a thought. So, like, what books would we want to see written?
Well, to see the issues, like, I don't know what's been written. I could say I want to see this, and someone's going to be like, oh, that already came out. It came out 2 months ago. I assume they're going to show us a movie of how Darth Maul is still here.
Yes.
I don't imagine they're going to do that in a book form.
Right.
Because that's pretty, like, monumental that he's alive in the original trilogy still.
Right, well, they kind of did it in Rebels, but, like, not really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to see where he got
that's like how he's in charge.
In that period of time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to pause this for a second. Okay, we're back.
Yes.
The cricket has been disposed of.
Yeah, after the cricket massacre that just happened.
Darth Maul.
Yes. How far past Rebels is A New Hope? Like, is it like it goes right into A New Hope type of thing?
I haven't seen the ending of it.
Yeah.
There were like rumors they were gonna end it. It was gonna lead up to Rogue One.
Okay.
I'm not totally sure though.
So we're still kind of like seeing Darth Vader like we're not really getting like a progression of Darth Vader from like what the hell was the name of the third one?
Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith. It's alive again.
Oh my god.
That's the same cricket.
It's so annoying. I'm terribly sorry. This is going to be a terrible podcast.
It's going to be awful. Mainly just because we're talking.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's like we're not really going to see a progression of Darth Vader from like Revenge of the Sith to A New Hope.
No, he's just Darth Vader doing his thing. Yeah.
It's like that's all it is. Like,
yeah.
I think what I would like to see is like, well, maybe they did. See, this is the thing. Is like they already did it.
Yeah.
Like the one where it's the book cover and it's Darth Vader and Palpatine on the front.
Yeah.
Because like what I was gonna say was I'd like to see Darth Vader like becoming Darth Vader from the time of him being put together at the end of Revenge of the Sith into like the Rebels series, which is I think that book that came out originally.
Well, there's Lords of the Sith.
That one.
And I believe that that's about where the new comic series takes place, like the newer Darth Vader series. Because that's one I haven't gotten into yet. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of the covers have like the Sith Inquisitors from Rebels and stuff like that. Yeah. And like, I think there is a scene of like when he first gets like put together.
Okay. So see, it's already been done. I just have no idea.
Like I said, I'm excited about the Obi-Wan Qui-Gon. Mm-hmm. I think that'll be good. It seems to be the case that I know there was like a quote came out that apparently like they're like expect to see a lot more like prequel era stuff. Mm-hmm. And that's probably a period of time where you have more leeway to do more things, I feel.
Yeah, well there's a lot more going on if you think about it.
Where like the original trilogy is like it is what it is. It's like the Empire and the Rebels and this is what happened.
Yeah, there wasn't
and you
much
can only
else.
fill the gaps like so much. I mean like the Star Wars comic series is doing a lot between 4 and 5.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But like realistically, like how much can you really do to fill up these little gaps?
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas like
Clone Wars era.
That and they haven't touched like old stuff in this new canon yet.
Yeah, like Knights of the Old Republic type stuff.
So I'm interested to see if they go that way.
Yeah, true, because that's kind of just a period now that is not even done.
Right.
It's not canon.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be kind of crazy.
More news. Is the Star Wars live-action TV show, which we did a speculation video. Like, it had to have been one of our first videos.
Yeah, easily.
It was like in the first couple where we talked about, will there be a Star Wars live-action show?
Yeah.
We finally have some concrete information about it. Mm-hmm. Jon Favreau, who is doing the show, director of Iron Man 1 and 2, and producer of a whole bunch of stuff, and Happy in the movies. Jesus. The show's called The Mandalorian. And the synopsis is, after the stories of Jango and Boba Fett, another warrior emerges in the Star Wars universe. The Mandalorian is set after the fall of the Empire and before the emergence of the First Order. We follow the travails of a lone gunfighter in the outer reaches of the galaxy, far from the authority of the New Republic.
What if it's Boba Fett? Just in like a different suit.
It just is. Yeah.
It got torn up by the Sarlacc, so you had to get a new one.
Yeah.
I feel like the title's a mouthful. Can I just change that?
The Mandalorian?
Yeah. Hey, did you see the newest episode of The Mandalorian?
I did see the new episode of The Mandalorian.
Yeah. Like, see, like, it just doesn't...
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's true. That's like, a valid point.
Did you see Breaking Bad? Did you see Lost?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like...
Did you watch The Mandalorian?
Yeah, did you watch The Mandalorian the other night?
Yeah. But apart from the title... I'm pretty excited about something finally happening after Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, I'm just excited to see like a live action show.
Oh yeah, that too.
Like I feel like that's just a cool like, because clearly something that's never been done by Star Wars.
Right.
Is like a like live action TV show, as opposed to like an animated one.
Right. Yeah. There's been a whole bunch of
the
cartoons.
animated ones have been great.
Yeah, they have been.
Like, they're fantastic. But if they could just do that with real people, it's going to be...
It could be really cool.
World.
And apparently there's a whole bunch of them in production, you were saying, right?
Yeah, they said that there was going to be, what was it, an Obi-Wan one, I think I said? Oh, no, yeah, the Disney Play service thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, their new streaming service. They're, like, in production of a few other live-action Star Warses.
Yeah.
So I think, we are on the cutting edge. No, not the cutting edge. What's the word I'm looking for?
The cusp.
Yeah. We're on the cusp of all things Star Wars. This day and age.
It seems like,
time to be alive.
There's been some backlash to the movies.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like they're going to slow their roll on that front.
Yeah.
And maybe they're going to be like, hey, let's try these shows and see what happens.
It's probably a better idea.
Yeah.
Because you could, it'd be cool if they made the stories TV shows.
Yeah.
So you can get more in depth, you can build the characters more, build the story more, everything like that.
Yeah.
And do like what HBO does, and they'll do like an 8-part series on whatever, and once it's done, it's done.
Well, because, like, a lot of people weren't, but, like, I was someone that, like, as far as Solo goes, I was kind of intrigued by the idea of, like, the world building.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it ends with Kira and Darth Maul and stuff, and it's like, like, these characters could all cross over into their stories or whatever. Now Maul could be in the Kenobi movie, or you do a Lando movie and Han shows up for a part of it, or like in a TV show setting.
Yeah,
that'd make much more sense. It'd be easier.
Right. Like one episode Darth Maul's in it.
Right. If there was just like a Star Wars underworld TV show, where it has to do with like Darth Maul's criminal empire, and you have Han, you have Lando, and you have Kenobi, and
like what they're doing at the same time.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be way cooler. But yeah, I think it would be interesting to have them do the stories as shows.
Yeah, I think that could be a cool idea.
Yeah, because I feel like that's one of the issues with the stories is that like they don't like it's not a good ability to build the characters, to build the world, to build everything up in a 2-hour thing when we're being introduced to them for the first time.
Right, like maybe it's not the right format for what the idea is.
Right.
Where like you said, if let's say Rogue One was like a mini series, and you had a little bit more time with those characters.
Oh yeah.
'Cause that was my thing with Rogue One, is like beautiful looking movie, great action. I like the Krennic and Tarkin stuff. But as far as like the character building of our group, it was lacking. And just not enough time, They have a lot of ground to cover in 2 hours.
Well, yeah, especially because that movie was, like, designed to be, like, a team movie.
Right.
Like, all of them were a group. So if they did an episode on, like, each character, basically. Yeah. And then how, like, at the end of the episode, you've watched the whole character, and then now how they're in the group.
Right. So more of just the group having to work together. As a group. It didn't really happen that much in the movie.
Yeah, no, it's like they're thrown together and then, okay, we're off.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Then they all die.
And they die separately. Not together. So,
yeah, exactly.
I mean, maybe it's just, like, it's not the right format for what the plan is.
Yeah, like, maybe the movies should just be, the episodes. Yeah. And then the stories can be the TV shows.
Right, or at the very least, to be like, this is going to be a series of movies, not like a one-off.
Right.
That's why, like, if Solo went over better and more people want to see it, like, now you have these characters from multiple movies, maybe.
Right. It'd be cool if they did what, like, Game of Thrones is gonna do. Like, do an 1.5-hour episode or 2-hour episode, whatever it is.
Right.
And do, like, 6 of them or 8 of them, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But it's a series.
Right.
It's not, like, one movie where it's, like, you're trying to cram everything in.
Right.
Or it's like do like a 4-part 2-hour episode thing.
Yeah.
And then
that could be cool. They could do like a Band of Brothers style Clone Wars.
Imagine how nuts
like
that would be.
People are clamoring for like a gritty Star Wars thing. Like a lot of people that didn't like Solo, a lot of people, even if they didn't like it, would be like, oh, but that scene was cool when he was like in the Empire Army. And they were on the battlefield, and it was like chaos.
Yeah.
Like people want that kind of war Star Wars. I mean, what people like about Rogue One is like, oh, it's like a gritty war movie, and it's like, You could do like a Clone Wars series where it's like just a squad of troopers, and it's like, here's a 4-part thing or something like that. I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, like that would be nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like if they just did that, like I think they could turn the road that they're going down completely around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's like not that anything's been like super bad or like that I've been like, up in arms about consistently.
Right.
But it's like if they just made things like that, it would be a completely different outlook on everything.
Right. Well, it's funny because like what we were talking about the other day. So like, The Mandalorian, the show, would be like one of the first things we're seeing between that 6 and 7 time gap. There was Aftermath, but Aftermath was pretty inconsequential.
Yeah, pretty bad.
Some comics here and there, but the show would start to fill this gap of time where, as we've said in like book reviews and comic reviews and stuff, it seems like Disney has been afraid to go into that because they don't want to give away spoilers for the current sequel trilogy.
All right.
And when you think about it that way, it's kind of ironic that they've stayed away from that time period because they didn't want to give away spoilers, and they set up all these mysteries in Episode 7 for Rian Johnson to come in and say none of the backstory matters.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Snoke is no one, and Rey's parents are no one.
Yeah.
So like. Obviously, J.J. Abrams is going to come in and retcon a bunch of that in 9. There's already rumors we're going to find out who Snoke is. There's rumors that Luke is in the movie. There's rumors that Rey's parents are in the movie. So, like, I mean, you could easily... It doesn't, like, destroy the continuity to be, like, either A, Kylo was lying, or B, he just was misguided by whatever he was sensing. But it is kind of funny that they've wanted to keep that between 6 and 7 gap top secret... only for The Last Jedi to kind of be like, well, the backstory doesn't really matter. So.
Yeah. It's going to be like... it's going to be interesting to see how good the movie is, because most of it's going to be like trying to reinstate how big those things were that he said didn't matter.
Right, because like J.J. Abrams coming back, like I can only imagine like he's going to want to come in and like answer the questions that he set up.
Right.
Like, hey, these things were supposed to be
that were ruined.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now he has to come back and somehow create a little bit of story that he never really had intended to.
Right. Because like here's my thing is like Snoke, I don't really care about.
He's dead, so it doesn't matter.
Right. He is dead, but also at the same time, like we didn't know the Emperor's backstory until the prequels.
Right.
So like I don't really care about Snoke. The Rey being connected to the story thing, though, was so hugely set up in The Force Awakens.
Oh, yeah.
That just throwing that away would be very weird. For the movie to basically be like, no, all that stuff didn't matter. When it's like, yeah, they really set that stuff up. Like, between, like, some of the stuff with Han, some of the interaction. Her touching the lightsaber and having all the Force visions.
Right.
Bringing Ian McGregor back to be Obi-Wan in the Force vision to talk to her.
Yeah.
Like, this has to be someone. She has to be connected to the story somehow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's got to try to, like, kind of bring back the, like, oh, this is why Kylo Ren was saying what he said.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Whereas, like, Snoke, he's dead.
Yeah, Snoke's dead. I'd say leave it. Like, I was never that interested in Snoke to begin with.
Yeah. He goes like, Snoke was this person.
Right.
And we're done.
Right. Because, like, a lot of people were right on the opposite side of the spectrum when they would be like, if in the middle of The Last Jedi, Snoke says to Rey, I'm Darth Plagueis, like, what does that mean to Rey as a character? Nothing. So it doesn't really matter. That would just literally be audience service.
Right.
So, like, again, the Snoke thing, I thought it was a fun, exciting twist. It felt like the end of the movie happening in the middle of the movie.
Yeah,
like,
pretty much.
I thought that was kind of cool. So I'm fine with that. But like her parents thing, like
that's got to be huge.
That's got to play a role.
Yeah.
To just forget that would be very weird.
Well, like,
and it makes The Force Awakens feel like it's kind of out there, like its own thing.
Right. Well, it's because most of the things are like, the theory being that everything revolves around like the Skywalkers.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, like this is like their story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, whether she is or isn't, that's why it's huge.
Right.
Because it's like she's either a Skywalker, or when we all think it should be, and it's not. that's why it's huge.
Right.
So
And,
it's
granted,
you
like,
can't just play that one off like, oh, they're no one.
well, granted, Kylo Ren fills that role of the Skywalker in the story.
Right.
However, like, yeah,
it doesn't really follow.
They really set her up to have some sort of reveal.
Yeah, exactly.
And to just act like that's nothing is weird.
Mm-hmm.
It just leaves the movie feeling it doesn't feel like a cohesive story.
Right.
If, like, part of 7, a big part of it is the mystery of who she is.
Mm-hmm.
And then 8 being like, she's no one. If 9 were to just be like, yeah, she's no one, like, kind of leave you hanging, you know?
Yeah, I feel like, in all honesty, if that happened, it would ruin the
Well, it's like, all the talk about, like, you know, and I don't dislike The Last Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of it that I really do like a lot. There's a lot of it that I don't really like. But the whole subvert your expectations thing, it's just like, sometimes you just want a movie to do what you want it to do.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and it's like, there's a reason I'm wondering who her parents are, because 7 told me I should wonder about that.
Yeah, exactly.
If it was never brought up ever, it wouldn't really matter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
Well, then the thing, like...
It's like, people want to know who her parents are because they've been told they should know.
Right.
They should want to know.
Just like the kid with the broom.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, so there's Force sensitive people out there.
I think that's gonna be dropped.
Oh, yeah, it's
for the purposes of 9 anyway. Like, I don't think we're gonna see that kid.
Oh, no.
Or
never.
anything, yeah.
Unless he comes back.
Yeah.
In the next trilogy.
Yeah.
What movie did we say that about recently? We were like, it was a good movie because it did what I wanted it to. Like, we were just like...
Searching.
Was it Searching?
It had a satisfying ending that didn't, like...
So it was Searching.
Leave you hanging. Yeah.
Yeah, we were just like, that's all we want.
Right, it was a good ride and the ending was satisfying.
Exactly.
Yeah,
all movies were like that.
Not having a twist for the sake of a twist.
Exactly.
You know?
But the twist being like, the twist being like, that's what we want.
Well, even like, I already saw, like again, like the rumors about these movies are kind of, a new one comes out every day.
Yeah.
But I saw something, like a headline, and it was like, you know, blah, 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 tease that there's going to be a massive twist at episode 9 that changes everything.
Ugh.
Does there need to be?
Exactly.
No, like
there wasn't that every movie.
There wasn't really a big twist in episode 6, except for like, it's a trap.
Yeah, exactly.
But like,
yeah.
Like, why does everything have to be this monumental twist? Like, just make the movie. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like, the big twist in the original trilogy was Darth Vader was his father.
Right.
And then once that was established, like, 6 was the aftermath of now what are we going to do with this twist?
Mm-hmm.
But you can't really do that with The Last Jedi because, like, Snoke's dead and apparently Rey has no parents.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like you can't then work with the twist.
Uh-huh.
The twist just cut off things.
Yeah.
So it's going to be retconning the twist with another twist. And they don't all need to be big twists. It could just be a movie.
Exactly. It could just be a movie that gets a job done that people like.
Right.
As opposed to people are now disappointed because the director got a big boner for him saying that it's not real what you thought. And the director's just sitting in his house like, yeah. All the people didn't get what they want.
Haha.
Yeah, haha, I win.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What do you win?
Right.
What are you getting out of this?
Right.
Bunch of pissed off fans.
Right. Well, and even then, if you really wanted to subvert I can't speak. If you really wanted to subvert expectation, because here's the thing, it's like, I still think the throne room scene is great, and then they fight the Praetorian Guard, and then Kylo's like, you have no parents, you know that, and then he's like, join me, and we're gonna do our own thing. I feel like if you really wanted to subvert expectations, because then from that point on, it just goes to Kylo's the bad guy still, and Rey's the good guy still.
Right.
And, like, if anything, like, if you wanted to really shake things up, like, she should have been like, you know what? Yeah. And then, like, this is like, now what?
Yeah.
Like, Kylo and Rey are teaming up to do their own thing. Like, what is this going to be? What are you going to do with this? Like, what's going to happen? Like, instead they just reverted back to bad guy, good guy. Exactly. For no real reason.
And now we're going to get a movie where it's an even badder guy and an even better good person.
Right.
And it's like, now it's going to be a typical just good versus bad.
Well, that's the thing, because, like, I mean, I would imagine, maybe they'll subvert my expectations, but I would imagine that Kylo will be redeemed, and, like, there needs to be someone that he's going to be redeemed against.
Yeah, true.
There needs to be a reason he would be redeemed, so who's that going to be?
Phasma. Yeah.
I mean, because I would love to see a scene where newly redeemed Kylo takes his seat in the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
I think that would be pretty.
Maybe he kills Hux. That's how he redeems himself.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think that's why like that's one of the good things I liked in Last Jedi was like the lines were starting to get fuzzy.
Yeah.
As far as like who's good, who's bad, are they working together? Are they working apart? Like that's when I was like, oh, this is getting good.
But then that premise was ditched at the end.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then it was just like he completely snapped and now he's bad and evil.
Right.
And then she's clearly the good side, just trying to escape so she can fight another day.
Because again, like now, once again, like, and I thought Luke's actions were fantastic. I liked that thing with Luke, the force projection thing.
Yeah, that's cool.
I thought that was cool and like clever and like, you know, this is the Jedi way. He's gonna find a way to do this thing without more death and destruction.
Right.
However, you have now fully humiliated Kylo Ren in front of the entire First Order.
Exactly.
It's just given him more reason to be pissed off.
Right, and even more crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, like you said, like the lines were starting to blur, and then they kind of backed away.
Yeah.
Where like they should have maybe just leaned into it, and now it's like, well, now what?
Yeah, and then fix it in the end with like, these are who your parents are.
Yeah.
And then now she's like, oh my god, I have to be good.
Yeah.
Or something.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like there's some redeeming thing that comes out about Rey, and that's where she's like, oh, I'm gonna stop working with him.
Right. I mean, because realistically, like the Last Jedi, its cliffhanger could have been Rey maybe turning to the dark side.
Right.
Because if anything, all that's happened so far with her, like she's our hero, but like she's just been let down by everyone she's gone to for answers.
Exactly.
So like, you know, all these people that were supposed to guide her have let her down.
Right.
And then throw it on top, like your parents are no one.
Right.
You know, and like this is the only guy that's like willing to like, you know, have your back.
Yeah.
So like it maybe would have just made sense for her to be like, yeah, and like this is how the movie ends.
Yeah. So
and,
now what do you want to do?
Right. Yeah, you know, interesting.
Very.
Yeah.
But I imagine more news is going to come out.
Absolutely.
Very soon.
We have a while to talk about this movie.
We
We haven't even done a video yet about it.
We got about another year.
Yeah.
So yeah. Keep an eye out. Got more stuff coming out.
So books are coming out.
So books are coming out. Comic books as well.
Yeah.
They've been coming out.
Yes.
Whether we like it or not, or we can keep up or not. They're literally a machine.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, you reach your hand in the machine and it'll cut your hand off. The machine doesn't care.
Right.
You spend $50 a time getting comic books, it doesn't care.
Yes. There's so many.
And they're never ending.
Yeah.
But once again, I'm Brooks.
I'm Joe.
And this has been another episode of Cantina Reviews Barside Chats.
Yeah.